So Trooper has increasingly gotten a little more aggressive, specifically with me over the last 12 to 18 months. He knows his basic commands, but my perception is when he decides that he doesn't want to do something, then he tends to get a little aggressive about it. He's bitten me several times. He's bitten my parents, who also watch him, several times. Hey, okay, sit, bud. And so I want to figure out, first I want a translator. I want to know what that growl means. I want to know how I best can help Trooper. He is my first dog, so I'm not really surprised that there is kind of a miscommunication. So I would also like to get some better communication skills to talk to Trooper and have him talk to me. Wonderful.
We're inviting somebody to come in here, and come on in. And you see how he's okay with this person coming in and hanging out with me a little bit, but see how he's interested in him? See how he came back to me? Good. So we practice this a lot with people he doesn't know so well, or even people that he does know well, coming into the yard or in the house. And it's even more intense here with this door here, because when he's out here, there's people coming and going constantly, and everybody that comes in, if they don't give him a treat, he'll come back to me and get paid. So good. Instead of doing what he used to do, which is to growl and be protective of his space, now he looks for a reward from somebody, because the behavior that's getting paid is the behavior of moving away from the distraction, from the object of desire. Good. See how he turns back to me and I reward him? And we have the opposite happening. At the very least, you have a number of seconds, maybe 40, 50 seconds before, right now we're not getting anything. Can you kind of walk around? Just kind of walk. We're not getting any reaction, which means he's even better than ever before. See how it's weird? Like he's like, what's this guy doing? But he keeps looking back at me. Good. So we're trying to trigger this behavior to show you if it comes up or not. This is just weird for somebody to do this, of course. But because we've always done those the other way, good, for so long, he's not doing the stuff here. But, you know, at the very least, you have so if he goes over there, let's even give you a treat to give to him. Give him a treat. Come. You have your recall. Good. Okay. When we're going into the house, every time we go in there, we have Trooper sit, and then we step in. He waits. Say I put himself back. He waits till I come back and stand next to him, and I say, okay. And he walks through with me. If he tries to pull you, just do a little tap. Okay, and you slow down at the threshold. We're going to come out as well. I'm going to show you how we start the walk. So we close the door first. Of course, if you're taking him for a walk, the door is going to be closed. You're going to walk him up to the door. You're going to have him sit. And then you're going to open the door. And he stays seated. And then, because we're starting the walk right now, actually. And then we step out, we step back. He doesn't rush through. He waits until I say, okay. And he walks through with me. And see how I walk through the threshold very slowly? If you don't walk slowly, he won't, especially at first. Sit. And then we're still in training mode. Close that door. We're going to continue to the gate. Do the waiting at the gates there. You have stairways and different doorways at your place, but each place is a boundary. If you start doing the boundary training as soon as you put the leash on the inside of your house, your apartment, by the time you get out to the street, through just having him sit and wait at all these boundaries, he's going to be way calmer than before, way less reactive, way less likely to lunge at a passerby or another dog or something like that, like he was doing before. So always start the walk in a very calm, structured way. By the time you get on the street and you start seeing distractions, it'll be way easier to handle, because you start the training as soon as you clip the leash on him on the inside of your front door. Sit. So we came from our front door. I walked through our yard. I had him sit. I opened this gate because now we're coming out onto the street. He popped up a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. So if he does that with you, you say no. Gently but firmly, just apply a little bit of pressure. His butt will go back down. See how he's waiting right here? He's waiting for me to come back next to him. Okay. I say okay, he walks with me slowly. If he doesn't walk slowly, I'm just doing these little taps to reinforce that calm exit out of my yard onto the street. Do a little left turn to close the gate. And out here, we're gonna start the walk by going across the street. So maybe you can go to this. Actually, go to that side so you can be on his side. So okay, we go to this curb here. Sit. We have him sit at the curb. Just wait there. Okay. Do a little sit stay. This is what we do every day. He sees a person over there that he likes, so he wants to go over there. But if he breaks out of his sit stay, you say no, and you just gently but firmly put him back. And he has to sit here while you do your little sit stay. Walk around, sit stay. It just takes a lot of focus, a lot of brain power to do this for him. Excuse me. Which wears him out, makes him tired in the best way possible through mental exertion. Also, when you're doing this with him and you are orchestrating all these little sit stays and boundaries, you're the boss, you're dominant. Okay, which is what he needs to know, is that you are in charge. You're not an object to guard out here on the street. You're not a thing. You're not his prized possession that he chases other dogs and people away from. See how I'm walking super slow? It's hard for him to walk slow. So I'm walking super slow across the street, keeping him next to me with these little taps. On the other side of the street, sit. And see how I never say anything twice. If he's a little bit distracted, which he is today, I'm just gonna make sure he sits there. See, I just applied a little bit of gentle but firm pressure. His butt hit the ground. He's waiting now, waits for me to pat his chest and say, go. Now he's free, and we start the walk. And you get to start the walk. You know, the walk started on the inside of my front door. We showed you how we walked through there, and then and did that boundary training, and did the boundary training at the gate, the curb, and then over here across the street calmly, and he's released. And you see how calm the walk can start when you do that. And then you just make sure you keep that leash loose, and you're always keeping it loose. And if he pulls you, if you start walking, he pulls you, come! Start calling back to you. Good. And you just do left hand leash, right hand reward, and walk down the street. Anytime he tries to pull you, come! Draw him back to you. Good. Also, you're practicing this rock solid recall, which he's gonna have, which he already has. Come! See how he's running? He might start pulling. Good. So I'll just take a walk. He can sniff, he can pee, he can do whatever he wants, but I call him away from any distraction and call him back to me whenever he seems like he's starting to pull. And this leash just stays loose. And you see, when you're hanging out on the street, he just starts hanging out close to you because you have created this new pattern of, he knows he's always coming back to you. You're making yourself the center of the universe by doing commands, the come commands, and all the other things. Instead of him pulling you around like he is like you are a irrelevant person that he's just pulling around. You're in charge because you're calling him back to you. You're paying him. So, come. You're paying him to come back to you. Good. I mean, you make yourself very important by just doing these simple commands out on the street. And of course, you're going to be calling him away from distractions of things that he used to bark at and want to lunge at, people, other dogs, whatever it was. And you see, it's because the leash is loose as well. This kind of tension and pulling creates a lot of tension in the dog, so you don't have that anymore. And if you do use the leash, you're doing little taps, never restraining, because that tension can create aggression in Trooper. So you're handling him this way out on the street, and you see his issues are far less intense than they used to be. And over time, if you keep doing this, over time you see he's going to get better and better and better than he is even now. Okay, come on, buddy. Sit. We're walking Trooper up to somebody that I'm going to do the greeting routine with. I had him sit. I step away from Trooper, give him a big hunk of dog treat. Natural Balance sausage is what we're using today. I come back to Trooper. I pat his chest. No, make sure he really waits. So if he tries to get up before you release him, you just tap him and say no. And usually that will make him go back to where he needs to start from. You're never restraining him, so the leash is loose. You're going to pat his chest and say, so no. You can do a little do-over circle like that and put him back. When you turn him away from a mistake, it gives his mind a chance to do it the right way. and you do it over again. It's like a refresh when you turn him away from his mistake. So sometimes you want to do that. Actually, as much as you want, you can do that. It's great practice to do that, especially at first, the first few days or weeks that you have him back with you. So I'm going to pat his chest and say, go say hi. Going to go get the treat from the person. Come. And I'm telling everybody, good, don't pet him, just let him approach you and take a gift. I mean, okay, sit, just going towards somebody new, taking the treat, the gift, and then you calling him back, it still gives him a great association, new association with meeting people on the street. And all they do is just have a gift for him. You're orchestrating this whole routine so he feels much safer because you're going to call him back to come to you right after he takes the gift. And he starts getting a feeling of like, hey, it's safe to approach somebody. They don't try to touch me, like make sure they don't try to go like this overhand, any of that kind of stuff, which, especially if he doesn't know the person, is going to be threatening to him. So just send him over, let him take that reward from them, not reward, but gift, and call him back to you and just do this. Go. Do it over and over again. Come. Call him back to you. Good. It's just the whole process of meeting a new people in this greeting routine. Sit. It's all fun. All safe, you're taking care of everything. He doesn't have to worry. Once you got him warmed up, you can even practice a little sit stay because it takes more mental focus and energy for him to stay in a sit stay and wait to actually go over there. Go say hi and get the gift. Come. And just think how he's gonna be thinking about, look right there, about, okay, sit. What it means to meet new people if you do this with a few dozen people. You know, when I'm not there, already he's much better here with new people, but when I'm not there, he's back with you and you guys just do this with as many people as possible. Maybe you just do three times. You know, go get the treat, come, go get the treat, come. Just do that 3 times and then thanks a lot and then move on. He's still approaching somebody in a positive way. He's accepting a gift. He's not aggressive. He gets called back before he even jumps or anything at all. No, that's just a leaf. You know, see how he is when something drops on the ground. The worst thing to do with this particular dog is to go grab something. I don't know if you saw, but a treat fell on the ground, a piece of a treat. When I gave it to him, I'm not going to pick it up. I just went, hey, it's right there, and he got it off the ground. Trooper has this issue of you try to take something off the ground. He's obviously practiced this a lot in his life, biting, like, no, that's mine, and he'll bite you. He could bite you, so don't do that. If you don't do that, you won't trigger that response, and over time, if he's not triggered to do that, that behavior will start to fade away. Did I hand you a treat yet? No, I didn't do that. No. So he needs to stay there in a seated sit stay while you step away. He needs to wait there and hand it to the person, go back, needs to wait. This is the last time we're going to do this. Go say hi. Come. Great practice for your recall, calling him away from people in another context, which you always need. So another thing to do, like if there was a treat or something there, let's put this big hunk of food on the ground. Like, hey, he likes that. Come. Practice calling him away from stuff. Good, and reward him for coming away from it. And when he's on a leash, it's the way to do it, definitely. So get him on a leash if he's not on a leash. So he really wants that, right? Come. Good, I'm gonna call him away, but I'm gonna have a bigger reward on my end. So I'm not gonna put a big fat piece of treat there and call him back to a little teeny piece. I'm gonna call him back to something much bigger than that. Go, I'm gonna let him have it now. Come, and then call him back this way. Good, so I just added that in the greeting routine because you saw how he reacted when the leash, the leaf actually fell. And he really wanted to go over there and get it. So when it comes to things on the ground that he's startled by or that he wants, you need to be super careful. Call him away from it, or just wait till he gets it and then, you know, deal with it later. If you try to beat him to the punch and grab it before he grabs it, he could bite you, and you don't want to elicit that response anymore. He's done that too much already in his life. So handle it a different way. In a public place, just to show you that Trooper can focus, and you pan to your left and show Harry, and pan to your right and show the girl right there. We had customers there, and we're gonna have people walking past us, of course, as well. And he's doing really well. Good. I mean, for him to stay focused and stay in a sit stay as somebody walks past with a carrying something big. I don't know if you caught that, it was right there. But undoubtedly we'll have other people walk past in a few moments. And see how he's looking at somebody who's coming in with a cart? Good. See how he looked at me? Good. So the guy in the cart came, and then Trooper, and so this person, watch what happens. Good. So the new learned behavior that's brand new is to, hey, what's that? Turn back to you. You need to be there to pay that, because you know what happened before is he'd say, hey, what's that? Get him. But now you have a whole, see what's coming here? Pan to your left a little, on your right. And then Trooper sees it coming, very tall person, two people walking, and he's about to, if he doesn't look back at you, good. He made the right choice finally in the end. See, that's why we're really paying attention to him out in public. And this might be a tough one because the guy, good, came kind of cut across like that. But this is a great exercise to do, all while being in a sit stay as well. So he's doing a little sit stay, waiting to be released. This is the way you release him. You pat his chest and you say, go, and he's free. Down. So sometimes if he doesn't go straight down, you can just help him by doing that. You don't have to touch the leash or anything, just your foot goes up and he goes down. But most of the time now you say the command and he'll go straight there. Stay is built into down, good. So when you're practicing a down stay, you don't have to say stay. And in case I didn't mention that for the sit video, it's the same with the sit. I say sit and he stays there until he's released. So you don't say stay. I've never said stay to him. Stay is, nope. Good, stay is built in to down and sit. If he pops up, you say no. And in this case, like if he were to pop up, you say no and just, I pivot on my right foot, and then with my left foot, I just put a little pressure on the leash and he'll go back down. We're doing a down stay here. Maybe, can you pan to your right a little bit and show all the people here? Good boy, Troops, good. And there's a bunch of people walking around. If he pops up, here we go. Nope, we just put him back. Whoa, 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 whoa. That was a tough one. See how I just stood on it and he went back? And that was tough. That cart came right past him. Good, but you see how for the most part he's pretty unconcerned about these big distractions rolling right past him, the carts, the people walking past. So you can see how far he's come in this, 5 weeks he's been with us, whatever it's been. I think that when he first, if I would have brought him here the first day I had him, I think he would have been lunging at a lot of people. So now we've taught him to focus on whoever's doing this. He sees people walking, he turns back to me, good. So you have to be there when you're out in public and you notice that he sees somebody, he's going to turn back to you, good. Always reward that behavior. Now that distraction triggers him to look back at you, check in, he gets rewarded for that. Good. See, every time, mark it, say good. He's going to look.
And how will
oh no, you have to be careful because he might pop up and bite you. So it's not good. Yeah. Nope. So that was kind of tough for him. And we'll leave that in to show you that. And that was a new person that I don't know. I know most of the people who work here. They wouldn't walk up like that. That's okay. Good. So see what I did? I thought he was going to jump up at the guy, but I just moved away. I reset him. The guy walked away and I put him back. And we're going to finish on a success here. Good boy. He's doing so well. Good. So you probably shouldn't try this until you're very comfortable with this training. But just to show you what we've worked up to in the last few weeks that we've been doing this, he can handle a lot more stress now. And even practicing these types of things helps him be better and calmer in your environment. Okay, sit. Then we're going to give him a little free time. Go. All right, ready? Okay. Sit. So we lead him up to his crate. He has to actually wait until, nope. Okay, come on. Let's do this right. Come on, buddy. Sit. So we have him wait until we actually release him into the crate. So the door is closed always, of course. He sits, he waits. No. If he does that, you can just do that and he'll go back to his sit stay. Go. Send him in. He goes in there. He turns around. This is the routine he's done since he's been here for weeks now. And he turns around, he gets a treat, you unhook the leash. The door's always closed. I feed him in there. I give him his bones and chewies in there. All good things happen in the crate. Every interaction with him is super positive when he's in the crate. As you can see, I sent him in, and you may not have seen it, but because I've never put him in or out of the crate with the crate out in the yard, we're just filming it here because it's a little bit too cramped in the house right now, and it's more light out here anyway right now. He's never done it here, so he might have been a little bit hesitant to go in. So all I did was do the motion of go, but I tossed a little tiny piece of cheese. He followed it, and he got a treat. He turned around to meet me, another treat, took the leash off, closed the door. So every interaction between us with any hands going in or in there with him is super positive, and so he loves to see the hands coming. When he first came here, not so much. He definitely would have bitten if you stuck your hands in to hook him up or to grab him or something. But now, because we've had hundreds and hundreds of interactions with him, with multiple people, at least 4 different people have taken him in and out all throughout the day. That includes me and 3 of my employees. Always the same way. Now he's like, oh, it's great when the hands come in. I need you to do this for a while so that you get the same result. This is just a little tiny piece of cheese. Good, he's munching on that. I reach in, hook him up on his regular collar. He waits, and if he doesn't wait, you just say no, and you do that. He waits until so he's hooked up, and he's waiting at this boundary. Okay, he comes out. You always close this door, again, behind him. If we're taking him outside, it's sit, and then it's okay, and we walk into the front door, and we do the whole front door thing, and then the gate thing if we're taking for a walk, and you've seen all that on the other clips. But this is using the crate in this very structured way is a tool for training. This is his most important place. This is his den. Dogs are den animals, so we developed this even more so than before. I know he was in a crate for a while, but he didn't have the same association with the crate that he does now. You put him in there, you go get his meal, or his meal's on top of there, open the door, put it in there, close the door. Everything good happens in the crate. Whenever you go to take him out, it's open the door, treat, hook him up, okay, let's go. You don't reach in there and take things unless you come bearing a gift, right? And if you needed, for some reason, if you thought you had to reach in and take bones or chewies or a bowl out of there, come in with a bigger amount in your right hand, so his mouth is full, and then grab that thing really quickly. But I wouldn't recommend doing it that way. I'd recommend giving him a treat, hooking him up, okay, come on out, and then once he's wherever you're taking him to, come back and clean out his crate, take whatever you're going to take. That would be the smarter way to do it. That's what I suggest. So he sleeps overnight in his crate at my house. He gets in and out of the crate all day long. Every time we put him in, we do it that way: sit, wait, go, treat, unhook, close the door. Every time we take him out, it's the same thing. Open it up, he waits, treat, hook him up, let's go. Same thing, the same routine. We're just moving the same routine to your house. He has not bitten anybody here at all, and that's 4 different people, mostly men, that have worked with him. And so you do those moves, and you can get the same results at your house, but you have to be really careful that you're not doing any of the stuff you used to do, because those could trigger old behaviors that he used to perform with you, and none of them were good. So that's why we're videoing this for you step by step, very specific, and you can see how he does. He loves his crate. He wants to go back in right now. You never leave him in there for long periods of time unless he's sleeping overnight. But other than that, unless it's an emergency, here he's out of his crate every hour or so, hour and a half or whatever, and lots of free time outside. So just make sure that you never leave him in the crate for 8-hour days or 10-hour days, whatever, consistently. That would be detrimental to his progress, of course. Okay. So worst case scenario, he goes over to somebody. Give him a treat. Come. Call him back to you. Good boy. Good. He's practiced that recall so many times away from people and situations that you always have that in an emergency. And we've been practicing it at your house, but you should keep practicing it because ultimately you have to practice it a little bit at your place too when I'm not there, because even though we've done a few lessons at your house already doing this stuff, you really have to keep doing it when I'm not there, of course, because at this point he's associating all this behavior with me being there. And that's why we practice so much with you while we're making the videos, so you know exactly what to do from minute one that I step out of that door after I deliver him. You keep doing all this stuff so that you, in essence, you become me. You do all the moves that I've been doing and you get all these results because you do exactly what we've been doing here for weeks. And it doesn't mean that mistakes won't be made. See how he goes over, he wants a treat from that person? Good. It's so automatic to come back to me away from a new person that he'll just do it, and you need to be there. Let's say you didn't have a treat for some reason, which you won't sometimes. You notice how, why don't you go, give him a treat this time. Notice how, come. Good. Whenever I can, it's a treat and the good, and he feels really good about that timing. I say good, and I pet him at the very instant that I give him the treat. It's all connected. So if he goes back over there to the person, yeah, and go down and pet him. Go. Okay. Come. When I don't have a treat, I just pretend like I do. Good boy. Love him up a little extra. He'll still come to this target over and over again. He doesn't know it's empty. So in an emergency, you don't have a treat on you, which you won't a lot of the time. Practice when you're practicing on a leash like this, doing the greeting routine or whatever, always practice with reward, because that's what he'll be anticipating when he's off leash, when there's a crisis situation, somebody just walks through your front door or whatever, he's having a bad moment. Pretend like you have it. It's come, call him away. Good. If he doesn't have a leash on, hook your hand underneath that collar. Get him out of there, or pick him up and go grab a treat out of the bowl that you have the treats in on the counter or whatever. So for a while, you want to always end that situation with a good reward, because with a dog that's bitten multiple times like him, we need to pull out all the stops. We need to make every interaction, every time that we call him away from something or we pick him up or handle him, always ends with something really good. I'm using little pieces of cheese today. You can use pieces of chicken. Use special things for those situations with him. You always end every interaction on a super positive note, because that's what he'll remember, how it ends. And then next time you're in that situation, he'll go to the person and he'll think, you already see it happening. He sees that person, he goes over, he comes right back to me, because he thinks, oh, when I do this, then I turn around immediately. It all ends going back to my person, which right now it's me here, and I get a reward and everything's cool, and we're not seeing any aggression at all. We also showed you him walking into the yard, and this is a person that he's practiced before. He would growl and bark and try to chase him away from me because I'm his special person. I'm going to get really close to you right now. Go like that. If I get this result when I'm practicing like this, good boy, I'm going to give him a reward for doing the appropriate response. We had a problem with him before with you, where somebody would get close to you, his owner, and he would try to chase that person away from you. Could be a relative or close person to you, and he would act that way where he'd bark at them. So we've been practicing that a lot too. So let's do it another way. Cruz, why don't you walk over to me? Good. Yeah, see how he looks at me? So Cruz approaches me instead of trying to chase that person away because of all this work we've done with him. Instead of trying to chase him away, what's triggered by somebody approaching me is turn back to me. I reward him for that new response, which is to turn his back to the person approaching. Get paid. It's all about you then. You're the paymaster. He'd much prefer to do this than what he was doing before, but we had to practice it a few hundred times for it to start getting into place and being automatic, and it's well on its way to being automatic now. And of course, give him that treat now. Whenever you have somebody here like this, you always want to follow up, like always make sure that that new person is giving him something yummy. I'm just taking a few little chances here today because I want to show you that he's different here than he was before. And now you have to practice all this stuff at your place so that he continues to be different there, because if you don't, he could go back to the way he was for so long, and we want to make sure that doesn't happen. But over time, none of this stuff is forever. Over time, you'll start to see what we've been doing here, and you'll see the same thing, same results with you. And over time, you can kind of loosen up because he's, that old behavior has started to die off, and it's not going to be this intense. Just the first few months you have him, you got to be super careful in these situations. You keep building him up with the right. If you keep staring at that person and you're here, let him get some more treats from that person. This is all good. The staring is not leading to aggression, barking. He's just looking at this new person like, hey, where's my next treat? I know that's what you're going to give me next. That's why he's not feeling stressed right now, because now he's expecting a different outcome because of the way we've been doing it here for the last few weeks. So I don't want you to think you're going to have to do this for the rest of his life, because he's probably got another 10 years left or so. But really be on it for the first few months, the first few dozen interactions with new people and other people, family members, whoever, and you'll see things get easier, and over time you'll be able to loosen up on these things because he just won't be behaving that way anymore after a while. Sit. Good. We never repeat the command. And stay is built into sit. And of course you've seen in the other videos how we're now doing all these things in the presence of huge distractions out in public. But I started here just teaching him the way it goes here. After I would do that, I'd walk back next to him. The reward is, it's eye contact straight down, good. He's literally looking at me in the eyes as he takes the reward. A piece of food fell, but still, nope, that's a mistake. He makes a mistake, reset him with that little do-over circle where you step into him, you reset him, and you just apply a little bit of pressure. Don't say sit again, because you already said it once. Don't ever repeat that command, because even saying it twice starts to dilute the power of that command. Doing another sit stay, another reward to finish it off. Always do it like this. Eye contact, straight down. Good. He's literally looking at my eyes as he takes the treat. Not this or this. He's looking somewhere else. No. That was my fault again. So see what I do? I just say no and apply a little bit of pressure that time. It's always ending on that reward where he is looking at you. You have eye contact, you get that treat. And then if you're going to release him to be free, it's a pat on his chest. Go. And you can be free. If you're going to walk with him, okay, there's a different release. Sit. You want him to stay on the clock in training mode, you want him to walk next to you, it's okay, and he walks with you. Down. I'm still doing everything in one motion, where down, saying it at the same moment that or using this physical cue with a little bit of tension on the leash at the same moment that I actually say the command, just because I think for a while he probably will hesitate because he's never done this with you, and when I'm not there it may be a little bit less precise, even though we practiced with you a few times. So just do it exactly like that, and before long he'll just go down when you say that command. I just did a little stay, just like with sit. Stay is built into down and sit. You don't say stay. He knows that he's waiting to be released, so you don't have to say stay. You don't have to do the hand signals, none of that. And the reward in the down stay is no. Make sure he really waits and doesn't try to take the reward out of your hand. No. See how I'm putting it right between his little feet? He's waiting. Good, and then say good when you reward him. He's waiting for you to come back next to him. If he pops up at any time before you release him, you just say no. Step on the leash, put him back. He's waiting for me to walk back next to him. Okay. Okay, sit. And then always release him from a calm sit stay. So it's okay, comes out of his down, and then a sit, and then you pat his chest and say go, and then he's free. So I'm just going to do another DOWN without the foot. Okay, down. Good. Good, so you see he's doing it here with us, but I just showed you the other way, because what you don't want to get stuck in is saying the command, and the same thing with sit. Say the command, and then he ignores you, and then you force him down. because you can get stuck in that pattern and you'll just be, doing that the rest of his life. So if you even think that he's not spot on with you, he hasn't done it like you saw him do it with me the first time, just do it for a few days where everybody that's handling him is like down. And then soon you take away the physical action of the foot going up and down, and he'll just do it with your words. That's how I got him to do it without the foot. But you may have to do the foot thing for a while. And now we'll release him. Make sure he really waits. See how he was anticipating? Make sure he really waits. Okay, okay, okay. And then sit, and then release him from a calm sit stay. Go. Okay, bud. I wanted to show you what we're doing out on the street with other dogs when they just show up, when they pop out in front of us, and see how, what we're doing and how Trooper is doing here when we do that. And he's going to get completely surprised. So I'm going to show you worst case scenario and pretend that you're me and you're just walking along, you think there's no dogs around. This would be worst case scenario because, of course, if the dog is coming from way far away, you can already start your calling him away, desensitizing him as the dog approaches, which is so much easier to get him over the dog when the dog is 50 yards away. This is just the dog popping out in front of us, and we'll show you how he reacts, and I'll show you what I do, because this is likely to happen to you. See that? Come! Dog just popped out. Good. Come! Use your come command. Works really well these days. Can you walk around, make him move a little bit? Come! See, he wants to go over there, but you need to call him away. Good. Yeah. Come! Actually, he could have friends that were dogs. Come! Because it's just overstimulation that's been practiced so many times before. Good. He really likes other dogs. Come! But he's had all this time to develop this inappropriate response to seeing a dog out on the street and getting overexcited, overstimulated, which turns into barking and come! What looks like aggression. You just, that last recall, I had to kind of tap him several times. Come! Good, because he's getting excited, because this never happens. We never just hang out in front of a dog like this, but I just wanted to show you what the training has done and how he reacts now when you come! Whoa, sorry buddy. And this is how you desensitize him to another dog. Come! You want him to be good with another dog. You always start out on neutral territory, on a leash, do your commands. Practice calling him away from that other dog, and the other person would do the same thing. Come! Hope we're catching all of this. And you're seeing, maybe we've been here 2-3 minutes tops maybe, and you see him come! Getting, each time he does respond to coming away from me, we see him getting a little bit closer to that dog. Come! And being less triggered. And now we'll add this. Sit. Because he has to be focused in the moment to stay in a sit stay in the presence of a distraction like that. Good. He looks back at me, gets rewarded. Actually, it's going to be better. Okay. If we have him sit and he has to look away from the dog, so he's sitting, the distraction's on his left, and if he doesn't turn away from me, good. All I did was I took my finger and I tapped his forehead. Good. Oh, I missed that one. He looked back at me. Eye contact, straight down. Good. So he chooses to stay in a sit stay with a distraction right there, another dog, which he just met 4 minutes ago or so. Hey. Good. Go. He stays calm. Go. Come on. Go. He stays calm. He does a sit stay. Now we do something else. I'll just show you. Down. Good. Now we'll practice him. So he has to look away, look back at me to get rewarded. See that? Good. I'll even put it on the outside of his left side so he really has to turn away. Make sure, even with this, you're not throwing the rewards down. That he's really waiting. Nope. Good. He's really waiting, even in the presence of another dog. which he formerly was not great with, of course. Good. He really waits. Nope. Nope. Make sure he doesn't touch your hand. Good. He waits to get that reward. All these little rules to this little game here are what keeps him from being reactive and losing his cool and having an episode like he did so many times with you before. See how he just stares at me now? Good. So what happens is you practice this kind of stuff whenever you can, and we've been doing it every day, of course. A distraction shows up, it automatically triggers this response. Good. What it does is it triggers him to pay attention to only you, because this is how he works. This is his job now. Good. He gets paid for it. Food is like money to dogs. Good. Every time he turns back to me, good. I reward that behavior. Make sure that he really doesn't, nope. He really keeps his cool, nope. Stays focused, he's got to wait. Good. And that we end this interaction in a big way, extra big hunk of natural balance sausage, which I'm using right now. Nope. Good. And then, okay, and then we move away from the distraction, and that's what he remembers when the next time we see a dog. Go ahead, you can go in now. Thanks. Come on, buddy. This is how he remembers it going with another dog on the street, because you ended the interaction on a success like this, and you build these successes up, and all he remembers is seeing these dogs on the street and ending up being really calm and relaxed and happy because he's working for you and getting paid for it. And all you have is all these new experiences like that, and you start seeing another dog, and very soon he's definitely going to turn away as soon as he sees the dog and get paid by you. Good, like that. Pet him if you can, treat him. But he's going to start being cool with other dogs, as long as that dog's cool, like that dog's good with other dogs. If another dog is barking, acting crazy, all bets are off right now, because this behavior is all brand new, of course. But you'll see over time he gets more and more desensitized to another dog on a leash. If you keep doing these things, you see the results of a few weeks of doing this, and just keep doing them, and he'll just keep getting better and better.